Today we are going to teach you why American and Chinese people view color differently. Take white, red, and blue as examples. The answer to these differences lie in their cultural differences. American people tend to think white, red, and blue as unit, which indicates their national spirit, while Chinese people view them separately. White is purity, red as fire, emphasize warmth and shelter, blue as water means immortality. Let's take a look at Americans' point first. Geographically, America was an isolated land well located among Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and Caribbean Sea. Mountains are located at both sides. It creates natural barrier for Native Americans to connect with other countries in the world. Isolation is what initially makes American has more strong feelings about being a whole. Afterwards, there was independent war. It was a war between Americans and English. Gaining freedom and identity sacrificed tons and millions of resources and lives, which encourages Americans to treasure their identity most. Then comes the modern society, shaped in government leadership. Four-year president election raises strong public awareness of politics and national affairs. It brings Americans as a whole rather than separate units. Forces media. American pop culture tends to have more impacts on their own teenagers as well as those around the world. For Marvel was one of the significant cultural output of American culture. The spirit of freedom and patriotism was well spread. Censorship and ideology also has their impacts on these color differences. After 9/11, the national outrage towards terrorism for its underestimate the power and significance of American hegemony has brought American people all together. Military power can also be a reason. The United States had the world's largest defense budget. In year 2010, the Department of Defense had a base budget of $533.8 billion, and over the course of the year, an additional $33 billion in supplemental spending was added to overseas contingency operations funding. Spending a large portion of national taxes, it not only raises American patriotism but also indicates sovereignty cannot be infringed.
Chinese people tend to think the expansion is the most important thing to do. Chinese geography is highly diverse, with hills, plains, and river deltas in the east and deserts, high plateaus, and mountains in the west. And these factors provide Chinese nature advantages to invade other countries, which potentially reduce the common sense of union among the Chinese nation. Chinese people were suppressed by imperial powers and constant change of dynasties, where human rights and nationalism can be hardly found. And with tremendous wars occurred in Chinese history, Chinese people were more likely to link the color red with the blood, fire, as well as celebration of the success. While Chinese civil society, on the other hand, have little say on the shift of government leadership, people tend to care more about welfare rather than national identity. With limited attention given to the leadership swept among different presidents, people care little about the policy and the country. Currently, merely in the national holiday or some worldwide champion held in China will elicit patriotism. This results in people have less sensitivity about the combine of the color red. Chinese traditional culture and mainstream media would review red as the most significant color for its region of imperial power in the Red Army, which separates it from other colors. The separation and manipulation of Chinese media tend to make people believe they are living in the harmonious society. Red are commonly used for indicating warmth and shelter, in other words, peace. To Western countries, China is known for its depression in human rights and totalitarian political structure. However, comparing to imperial countries, China is working on becoming a responsible country by practicing the 5 principles of peaceful coexistence and burden society duties. In this case, blue as an indication of water or navy shows its emphasis on immortality, or in other words, sustainable development.